Good morning, everybody. Everybody can hear? There is a lot of space between you and me. So let's go all out here and do something. I don't know. I just want to say I'm Sheila Joseph. I am the dietitian for John Knox for the last 28 years, believe it or not. I think the only person here that know me from that time was Joe, who is sitting here, Joe Rodolph. So welcome all of you. And my PRN dietitian was supposed to be with me for this presentation. Her name is Jeannie Pensiera. She had a family emergency and had to go out of town, basically death in the family. So there was no choice that she could stay back. So she was supposed to, she looks much more healthier than me. So she was supposed to cover the physical activity and the wellness part of the presentation, but I'm going to cover that too. So you are stuck with me for the next 30 minutes or so. So the presentation, is there anything specific that you would like me to address during this presentation? Before? Okay. I didn't want it to go one line at a time, but anyway, the topic for the presentation that I'm going to do is discover the power of nutrition. Well, I did not come up with this. It is our academy, National Academy for Dietetics and Nutrition. They came up with the theme. Every year, March is considered the Nutrition Month, and the academy come up with a theme. Last year's theme was food and connectivity. When social dining is leaving families, nobody sits at the dinner table and eating dinner anymore. So that's what the theme last year was. And this year's theme is discover the power of nutrition. What nutrition or good eating habits can improve our lifestyle, how it can impact your health, how it can improve our socialization, how it can improve our brain health, how it can improve our disease prevention, a whole bunch of stuff put together. In 1 month, we are going to focus on that. So basically here in John Knox, we have different dining venues that we eat. Some of you cook your own food, but at least one meal a day you eat from the dining room that we have and the choices that we have. So after this presentation, I'm hoping that you will be able to identify 2 ways, at least 2 ways, not asking for more, 2 ways in which you will be able to improve your health by choosing different variety of food, and then how to eat a balanced meal or a balanced diet. That is, no matter how many diets we have come across in the last 50 or 60 or 100 years, the balanced diet is the best thing that you can do for a healthy lifestyle. And then the third point is describe ways in which you can feel good by healthy eating habits. So that will be towards the end. Any questions so far? No. Choose healthful food from all the food groups. Okay, over the course of the years, when I was in undergrad school, way back in the days, back in India, we typically said about 3 food groups. That is, what gives you proteins, what gives you carbohydrates, and all the rest together. Then we went to 5 food groups, that is fruits, vegetables, dairy, carbohydrates, and proteins. Then the more advanced, the Mediterranean diets and everything, it talks about 7 food groups that include, they specifically set aside the fats and oils, legumes, beans, that category. So whether you are following a 3 food group, 5 food group, or a 7 food group, it's all about combining different foods into your daily eating pattern. That's the key thing. Alternating your food choices for a variety of nutrients. Basically, you don't wear the same clothes every day. Does anybody here wear the same clothes every day? No, we may wear the same style, shirt or jacket or pants or same size, but we don't wear the same clothes every day. Same like that, eating, you should not be eating the same food every day. You have to mix and match some things, because mix and matching kind of improve how our gut bacteria works and produces different kind of byproducts in our stomach. So if you just eat like an apple a day and that's only your diet, our microbes in our gut is only going to be focused on that one bacteria guideline. And then you get sick and get other viruses in the body, or you take an antibiotic, all that gut bacteria is ruined, and then you will be left with the colitis and a whole bunch of other problems. So eating a variety of food and alternating your food choices help us to have a variant, just like our world population. Or even in US, I'm an immigrant, we have all kinds of skin colors and tone. See, if you have only one, everybody eating the same thing, meat and potato, there is no diversity in it. We have to try to bring some alternate to get all the nutrients that. Not all foods have the same type of nutrients. It may have carbohydrates, but it may have some nutrients, but not all the food has vitamin C. Not all the food has vitamin D or E or calcium, or even if it has, one may have 5%, one may have 2%, one may have like 0.5. So a variety of food is very important in balancing our overall needs. Then the big thing is avoid fad diets, okay? Well, it's a very sensitive topic. When I say fad diets, I mean it, because any diet that you follow, you have to think, are you going to maintain it for the rest of your life? Rest of your life means 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, does not matter. Rest of your life. Anything that we eat, the eating pattern change we are promoting, we should be able to carry it for the rest of our life. So most of these fad diets, like a keto diet, very popular among younger population, and they avoid carbohydrates completely so that they can have the fat metabolism going. Are you able to sustain it for it? No, it's not good for the brain health. Okay, Atkins diet. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Atkins diet. Very popular in the 70s, 80s. And then, 90s came. It was South Beach diet, this, that, different thing. Then, the modern day, there is intermittent fasting, intuitive eating, mindful eating. And yesterday, I was just Googling. I saw a 3-3-3 diet. I'm like, okay, that's something new. I never heard about it. I'm sure I don't know whether any of you heard about the 3-3-3 diet. So I looked up, what is this 3-3 diet? I have not heard that. So it's basically eat 3 meals a day, balanced meals. Of course, I will go for that. Drink 3 liters of water before 3 o'clock every day, 3 p.m. Okay, I know most of you are healthy, But some of you have control, congestive heart failure or other medical conditions or kidney failure that you are not able to drink more than 2 liters of fluid a day. Drinking 3 liters of fluid a day before 3 p.m., I can get the before 3 p.m. because then you don't have to get up at night and go and pee all the time. That fact I get it, but 3 liters is a little bit too much for, And then the last 3, now I missed my thought. I thought about peeing and it skipped me. So, so the 3-3-3 diet, so it's basically, are you able to follow these things for the rest of the life? It's not practically possible. Do I recommend that? No, I don't recommend that. So then there is like a colon cleansing. People say, oh, I need to do 3-day colon cleansing. Okay, after the colon cleansing is over, what's going to do? If you are not eating healthy and enough fiber, your colon is going to get backed up. There is no like a excuse from it because you cleaned your colon just like you do the colonoscopy prep, if anybody has done that. It cleans your gut, but it takes only a few days to back it up to constipation again. So a lot of fad diets try to not to go behind them. Focus on healthy eating habits, having a variety of food. Now, what does a healthy eating pattern consist of? We talked about food groups. The 5 good food groups is basically what is on my slide here. The vegetables. Some people only, this is my experience from talking to people. Some people say peas and corn are the only vegetable I eat. I don't eat any other vegetable. Well, it's a starchy vegetable. It's 2 different colors, green and yellow. But is it going to give you all the nutrients that you need? No, really not. You need some yellow vegetable, you need some orange, you need some red, you need some green. You need a wide, very colorful variety of vegetables on your plate to get all the vitamin C, the fiber, the antioxidants, the phenolic compounds, all those things. You have to include a variety of vegetables on your platter, not just the peas and corn aspect of it. And then the fruits. Fruits, of course, is very important. Most of the fruits, some people say, I have diabetes, I cannot eat fruit. You can eat fruit. You are allowed to have 3 fruit servings a day. But instead of eating fruit, if you are drinking fruit juice, that beats the purpose. When you eat a whole fruit, for example, you eat a whole orange, you get 3 grams of fiber. Whereas you drink a cup of orange juice, you get absolutely 0 fiber. And instead of 60 calories from an orange, you are going to get 110 or 120 calories from the orange juice. And of course, half of the vitamin C is gone unless they add extra into it during the processing process. Anytime when we go from fresh to processed food, there is always additives in it. All those additives is going to mess up with my gut. Because anything to be shelf stable, like you make apple juice or orange juice at home with a blender. You leave it in the countertop. By afternoon, it starts tasting weird. The freshness is gone. Some oxidation is going to happen. The color is going to change because that's a natural process of the food getting ripe. Whereas orange juice, you leave a cup of orange juice outside, most probably it tastes the same in the afternoon also. Why? Because it has stabilizers and additives and other stuff that is added to prevent it from going bad, so people keep buying it for the convenience sake, pour a cup, drink it, and done with it. So same with the apple and apple juice. You get 4 grams of fiber eating an apple and 0 when you drink apple juice. So you make the choice, whether you want juice or, the fruits, how you are going to get your fruit servings a day. I have some handouts there. The first three are for fun. It is fact or fiction, some crossword puzzles, and portion things for you. And then there is three diets there. One is a Mediterranean diet that is talked about a lot. And then there is DASH diet that talked about a lot. And then the plate mother. So anything that you do in that, you are not really going to see these processed foods. Avoid or limit as much processed foods as possible. Eat fresh, eat natural. That's the way to go. Grains. Grains give us energy. We need, people say, I'm diabetic. I cannot have any pasta. I cannot have any rice. You do need some carbohydrates for our brain function. Without carbohydrates, it's very sluggish the day goes. And then your body starts breaking down proteins. Of course, we all love the fats to be broken down, but a lot of time the fat does not break down. It is the protein. So when you lose protein, where is it going to get from? From your muscles. From your muscles, and it creates nitrogenous waste that need to be eliminated by your kidneys. So you are losing muscles and you are overworking your kidneys. You want to do that? Not really. Okay? So we have to have some carbohydrates every day and try to focus on getting those carbohydrates from whole grain. We say baked potato is a good carbohydrate choice, but including me, I don't like the skin of the baked potato. But if you eat the skin, that's where you get the fiber from. The other inside is all pure, starch. And most of the potassium that is present in the potato is right underneath the skin. So to get the full benefit of a baked potato, you have to eat the skin also. But me, I get enough fiber, but I refuse to eat the potato skin. So, but that's a choice that I make. So, you guys can make choices. But either way, we need carbohydrates and make it whole grains, not just pastries. I'm hitting on the food service there. The pastries, you can eat a nice whole grain, pasta dinner for the calories in the Danish that is there. The Danish calories can go, depends on the size, from 250 calories to 400 calories. Those big uglies that I call them uglies, big ones, they are like 400, 360, 400 calories. So you wanted to see where 250 calories of your sugar comes from the Danish that you are eating, or a whole grain pasta, or a whole grain food that you are, buckwheat, quinoa, millet, any of those that you are eating, you choose. And most of the labels, when we read it, it says 20%, sugar, added sugar. If anything has 20% or 25% added sugar, it's not really good for us. That means you are left with literally nothing much to eat for that. You had one snack, and 25% of your calories from sugar is gone. The maximum calories they not recommend, is healthy life choice, they say 50 grams or not, added sugars. Because most of the processed foods that we buy, there is some kind of sugar added to it for our taste buds, to taste good. Like if you cook just a spinach and eat it plain, it has a bitter taste to it. But if you buy something that is pre-made, like a spinach souffle or something, you don't get that bitter taste of the spinach because they have additives in it to mask the taste of that bitterness to taste our palate. The more and more processed foods that we eat, our taste palates get switched to that kind of eating, and we say nothing tastes good. When you get fresh food, fresh vegetables, steamed vegetables, nothing tastes good. Why? Your palate is switched. Even from the time that we are babies, we have baby foods. Back in the days, I'm not sure about you, when you guys fed your children, we make homemade purees or homemade stuff. Now everything comes in pouches and jars, and so we are gearing our younger generation to process foods that is already, it is a convenience for us to buy and feed the rest of the family. So you can make the choice whether you want to do that or not. The lean proteins. Proteins are basically the building blocks of our body. Basically, lean is, in MO, we buy only lean meat. That's why when you come to MO, you have the meats, you say, oh, it's dry, it does not taste right, because it does not have much marbling. The more marbling that you get on your steak, that is where more of the fat is. So if you are cooking lean meat, it is like chicken breast versus chicken thighs. Thighs has more of natural fat in it, whereas chicken breast basically don't. But chicken breast, a lot of people don't like it because it's dry. Why is it dry? Because it does not have any fat. Fat makes everything better. You know, fried chicken versus regular baked chicken. Fried chicken, of course, you know, tastes better because it has a ton of salt in it, ton of fat in it. We added more fat to the already fatty chicken and a hormone-filled chicken. So it's basically the taste palettes that you have to say. We in the dining room, when I go to the variety, I will talk to you about that. We do have options, but somebody want to eat a fried chicken, I'm not stopping you. You can have that fried chicken, no problem. The next is low-fat, fat-free dairy products and fortified soy. Soy has hit a lot of, because of the GMO, you know, effect and everything. Some people frown on soy, some people, but you know, I'm from India. My parents are Indians. You know, we didn't eat much soy but we used a lot of lentils, dals, beans, whole, you know, that you soak overnight, then you cook it the next day. We did not use tofu or tempeh or any of those processed soy products. I would rather go with the nice bean soup that is made with the dry beans and a tofu stir fry. Because, of course, to get that tofu, you need some processing done. But if that is your only protein choice, you know, it's better to have that than no protein at all. Dairy products, of course, in US we have even from cheeses to milk to yogurt, you get option to either choose low fat, medium fat, whole fat, you have all the options. I would say 1%, you know, I never suggest whole milk unless somebody is not eating at all and they are trying to build their strength and come up with the calories, like 1,500 or 1,200 calories. Then I say, drink or eat whatever to get your caloric needs. But other than that, if you are eating good amount of food, you really don't need whole milk. Even though it is vitamin D fortified to lure the public, you can get your vitamin D, walk around John Knox, and you get enough vitamin D synthesis in your body. So try to choose low-fat. Time is running out. Everybody having fun? You all are very quiet. Here we go, the very sensitive topic. I was going to choose variety. I was actually going to talk about more choosing variety that is available in the market kind of thing. But then somebody here sent message to Sarah that they wanted to talk about the dining room options and the menus that we have. I think Raven will be hating me after this, but anyway, he said sometimes he may pop in, but anyway, I don't. He told me that we offer, I did not count, so I may be wrong, 164 options that we offer in John Knox dining rooms. That includes Plains, JJ's, Bistro, Scoop, Grill, Bay, all of it together, 164 variation. So anytime I read the menus in John Knox, I feel like, of course, they are like a restaurant style. That's what is expected because they are like independent standing restaurants. They are not regulated like, of course, health department check on the sanitation part. They are not regulated like MO kitchen. MO kitchen, everything has to be well done because we are under the guidelines of the ACA regulations. Everything has to be well done. We are obligated to serve X amount of servings of fruits and vegetables a day, portion control of the proteins, this many servings of starches. But in independent living and all the dining rooms, you are allowed to have any variation that you want. You are the boss. You choose what you want to eat from the selections that we have. So Raymond told me that we offer 164 choices. I can say at my home, I may cook 75 different varieties. When I go crazy, my son and daughter say, "Mom, please don't experiment on food." So 164 options is a lot of options that you can choose from. But the type of choice that you do, it's whether you are going to get a nutrient dense or a high fat or low fat version, or the variations that we talked about earlier, having variety, that's where it plays. Okay, the typical cooking methods on the menus, it says baked, broiled, grilled, steamed, poached, all those descriptions. Somebody who is not in food science and not used to cooking a lot of meals may not know the difference between all of those variations. Let's go with the poached egg. Everybody have heard. It is putting food in a water bath. It's like a controlled temperature, or like 160 to 180, very low temperature, just enough to cook the food. And it retains all the flavor, all the good nutrients in it, low temperature cooking. But taste palette, anybody who likes toast poached egg without adding a little salt in it, it's pretty eggy. It's pretty bland. You eat poached egg, it is bland. But if that is your flavor profile and you want to pair it with a nice plate of salad with a lot of yellow, green, red vegetables, the salads, the taste and the variety, it masks the taste of the blandness of the egg or the fish that is. So the poached is the lowest temperature cooking. Then comes the steamed. Most of the vegetables that we use in the food service, MO, we use all steamed vegetables. We don't do the skillet fry. Here you get stir fry, of course it is skillet. A lot of the other vegetables are steamed vegetables. So steam is like everybody know 100 degrees centigrade, you get, or 212 degree Fahrenheit, creates steam, and it is cooked in steam, retaining all the nutrients. Steam condenses into the food. The old saying, one man's food is other man's poison. One size does not fit all. Sometimes it is loose, sometimes it is tight. So the gut health depends on, gut means our stomach colon, health depends on what we eat. Our neurotransmitters for the brain function, it all starts from it. All the inflammation that we feel, a lot of times starts from our gut because of the gut bacteria. So some of you have heard about SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I have germs in my stomach growing. Maybe because you eat only one kind of food and there is not enough to fight inflammation and toxins in the gut. Then brain health. Early 2000, leaky gut, everybody was talking about leaky gut. Of course, I talked to a GI doctor and said, get over it, Sheila. Don't talk about leaky gut. It's emphasized. But leaky gut, leaky brain, it is true because the inflammation and the neurotransmitters are affected, and that goes into our brain. It affects our cognition, our brain function. We have dementia, plaque formation, tangles, Parkinson's tangles, or vascular dementia. They all can, the conditions can be exacerbated by our gut microbe or how we are eating. So having a variety and healthy bacteria is very important. For example, like if you are eating a toast with butter, it is just fat and carbohydrates. Try to switch it with a half an avocado. Or instead of the butter, use avocado. Avocado, very high in vitamin C. It has good fiber. Half an avocado gives you 7 grams of fiber. And low in fat, a lot of monounsaturated fatty acids that is good to fight inflammation. It's good. So switching from butter to avocado may be a good choice. Eating variety of fruits like a kiwi. Kiwi have antioxidant that is a enzyme that breaks down the protein in our gut. And then we have papaya that American diet really don't include papaya. But we take papaya enzyme for digestion that is in a pill form. But eating the papaya that is in a mixed food jar is very healthy because it has papain, that's a digesting enzyme that break down the steak that you are eating. It breaks down the protein. It keeps you regular, so you don't have to take the senna or colace all the time. Same with the pineapple. Pineapple has bromelain. That's a digestive aid that breaks down the food that we eat, and the healthy bacteria is gone. Then talking about gluten-free diet. Of course, that is the newest fad after the 2000, the gluten-free diet. If you are truly gluten intolerant, it benefits you. Just like lactose intolerance. If you did an allergy test and you found that you are gluten intolerant, it does help. I'm not negating it. But a lot of people say, when I follow gluten-free, I feel good, I don't feel that sluggish, I have more improved energy, because you are not overdoing on the carbohydrates. When you do eat general, you are eating a lot more carbohydrates and then you are on a gluten-free. We do have, the dining room has gluten-free choices. Raven told me a lot of the coating that he used for chicken or vegetables to fry it or bake it, he is using the gluten-free flour for it to reduce the gluten. But if you are gluten intolerant, definitely it matters. Just because I want to gluten-free, I should not force my children to be gluten-free. A lot of times family members comes and says, oh, I feel good when I eat gluten-free, so I want my mom to be on a gluten-free diet. Your mom did not had any problem eating gluten before, so why would I? But if you have a problem, definitely you have to follow the gluten-free diet. But also think that most of the gluten-free products that we get in the market is highly processed. So you are trying to benefit of something, not really getting the benefit of it. Like a South Indian diet, we are really low gluten because we eat a lot of rice. Roti, flatbreads are not very popular in it. So if you are doing a switch naturally, then it is okay, eating yuca and bananas and those kind of things. But going from a regular bread to a gluten-free bread, if you are not gluten intolerant, you are not really getting the benefit out of it. So your choice. Then the last is physical activity. Well, this is recommended. Not recommended by Sheila, so they're recommended by American CDC and all the health department. If you are 65 and older, I don't know why they focus on 65 and older, but you need 150 minutes of physical activity every week. So that is 30 minutes for 5 days, or you can break it 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. So, but the recommendation is 150 minutes a day. And then combine some strengthening. Even if it is only 1 pound weights you are lifting, that is something better than nothing. Even if you are squishing your fingers a few times and wiggling your toes, it is something better than nothing. And balancing activities that has strength and aerobics, like dancing. I don't know how many of you go dancing in John Knox, but anyway, dancing, dancing is good. Water aerobics combine both strength and, it's very good for arthritic joint, because the water buoyancy reduces the friction. Water aerobics. Tai Chi helps with I know we have Tai Chi classes here, help with the balance. So however, even if you walk from the Commons, the dining room, to Valencia and back, that is a brisk exercise. I have done walk from MO to Valencia, and that's a hike. You get flat elevation, you get all levels to improve your cardiac health, any kind of exercise. Food safety. I don't want to go focus on this too much, but food safety is important for you guys in the fact that leftover food. Lot of you residents like to take food home from the dining room. Of course, keep in mind that the food cooked in the dining room is for the service for the day, not meant to be leftovers. So at MO, we don't use any leftovers, that is hot food leftovers for the next day. We use it up in soups or whatever. But if you're taking it home, make sure you are heating it to a correct temperature, 165 degrees, and don't store food more than 3 days. Very important. You have a soup sitting there that is from last week, throw it out. You get more soup every day. So some people, or else you freeze. If it is something that you like it so much and you want to save it for another day, freeze it. Then take it out, reheat it, and eat it. But don't leave it in the refrigerator, because I know that when we do home evals and everything, a lot of people's refrigerators have food that is outdated milk and outdated cooked foods, 3 days. Look at in US, it is not expiration date anymore, but it is best if used by. Use look at the expiration date or the best use by day and try to finish the product by that time. Food safety is very important. The next is, this is, how do I click it? So way back when you guys were growing up, maybe mac and cheese was the only processed food that you used to buy in the packet, used to make it. Now in the 90s, the popularization of TV meals or frozen dinners came. Now you go to Walmart, you see it's running. Do I have the voice?
Yeah, I have to put it on there. So I'm going to pause it. You can just press play.
So when you go to Walmart, you see a whole aisle full of frozen foods, that is TV dinners, that is available that you can buy. Of course, the variety has improved, the choices have improved, you have beef, chicken, stuff. So the next 20 years, 30 years from now, if we are here in this earth or not, what we are going to look is 3D printed foods. The astronauts are already using. They are taking elements from the food.
Could your next meal come out of a 3D printer? No chef, no kitchen, just a machine and some digital magic. Today, we're diving into the wild and tasty world of 3D printed food.
The race for new ways to produce
and it's
food
happening
is
faster
heating
than
up.
you think.
And 3D food
Let's
printing
break down
is leading
how
the
it
charge.
works, what's already
This isn't
possible,
just about making
and what the
cool
future
looking
might
snacks.
taste like.
It's the only tech that can turn digital designs into actual edible meals. Yeah, we're literally printing food.
That's okay, we can go.
3D
say
food
it
printers
once I
work
want
just
to
like
run it.
regular
So,
3D
how does
printers.
3D food
Layer
printing
by layer.
actually work? At its core, it's about creating food layer by layer, kind of like how a regular
Do you want the video to play?
Yeah, play.
This one?
You can fast forward a little bit to the first 2 minutes. So basically, very soon, we all will be, if we are 20 years from now, we will be eating 3D printed foods. I can say, I want 20 grams of carbohydrate, I want 1 gram of fat, I want this. You can look at the Raven, you are a little bit late. This is the dining room menus. So basically, we are going to get processed, compressed food. We used to say when I was in grad school way back in the days, we used to say, why can't we get a capsule that is 1,500 calorie and, you know, eat it and drink water the rest of the day. I have my calorie levels for it. It's kind of getting to that.
Where would you like me to skip it to?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to play the whole 8 minutes.
No, 3 minutes is fine. Because we don't have time.
Okay. So go to where?
We'll do this. Yeah, and then I will stop in between.
Or here?
Yeah.
Start here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Others, like cheese or melted chocolate, come out in liquid form and need to be cooled or set before they're good to go. That's why food tech experts keep an eye on the process, tweaking settings to make sure every bite comes out just right. Recently, researchers have begun to incorporate the use of lasers into the 3D printing machines to essentially cook the ingredients as they're being made. One of the most mind-blowing developments is how some printers now handle multi-ingredient meals. Imagine printing a cheeseburger where the bun, patty, and sauce are each deposited in perfect order, cooked or cooled at just the right moment, all without a frying pan in sight. It's like having a digital chef with robotic precision and zero burnout. Even crazier?
Yeah.
Some experimental
That's crazy.
Well, something is happening. We have not get to the
printers
3D.
can read
But
biometric data, like your
But we are getting the 3D generation. I wanted to say, you know, we talked about the past, we talked about the current. What is for us to look for in the future? The future, I feel that we are going to have 3D printed foods in the aisles of Walmart, Publix, and Aldi, and all the grocery stores. Because if they are already using it for the astronauts to have fresh food, you know, that is feasible. So that is how much is food science evolving it, you know, during the day. But you still, some people say, I'm old enough, I want to eat whatever I want, live my life. That is your choice. Nobody is stopping you from doing anything. Your life, your enjoyment, you exercise, you have fun, you eat what you want. But do you want to deal with the high blood pressure from eating too much salt, or your feet getting all swelled up, then you cannot dance with your favorite lady, you know, because your feet is swollen with the Chinese food or the stir fry that you ate the previous day? It's your choice. It is how you want to live your life. Not a dietitian or anybody, not even your primary care doctors, can force you into doing something that you don't want to do. But you make informed your health, you know. Initially it is weight management, or it is not really about weight, gaining weight or losing weight. It is about your numbers. What number you want? Do you want your waistline to be 35? That is recommended for ladies. You want for guys it is 40 inches. Of course, guys get the advantage a lot, I have to say. They get to drink two drinks, 2 alcoholic beverages. One asks ladies only 1 drink, you know, but they get to 40 waistline when we have to be 35 waistline. So it all depends on what do you want your blood pressure? You want your blood pressure to be normal? You want your diabetes numbers to be normal? You know, it's your life. You plan it accordingly. I know I have past time. Any questions? I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
Here, I'm kind of hold on 1 second.
First of all, my name is Kathy Summers, and I have celiac, so gluten is not a choice for me.
No.
And there's at least a dozen other people that I know of that live here that have either gluten intolerance. I don't know if there's other people here that are, I know that there's 5 that I know. But we're asking John Knox to be more friendly to us in their menu planning. For example, there are many days when I couldn't get a soup and salad. And when I said that to Joe, and this kind of shows his ignorance, he said, well, if I did a gluten-free soup, what would I do with the leftover? He probably doesn't know that most of his soups are gluten-free anyway. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that.
But the salads.
I can have a salad every day. You just said variety is the spice of life.
Yeah,
well, if I have
but you can combine the salads also. You know, you will have lettuce with chickpeas one day, you can have some bell peppers the next day, you can have the variety. But it does not have to be salad only your choice for the day. You have to include other food choices also, yeah.
But you said that Raven bread stuff and gluten-free breading, I'm not aware of that, and the menus don't tell us that.
Okay.
So how would we know that?
I will be actually looking at a new menu program that is going to be applied for all venues of John Knox. I'm hoping that when we do that, we can tweak more things and get more information put into it. But you can always call the dining room service ahead of time and check with them how a product is cooked.
It's not always that easy to get the dining room on the phone.
I know. But if there is any specific things that you are interested, you know, because you all know what is going to be on the menu next week, and you can look at it and then plan accordingly your meals. But this is what Raven told me on Saturday, that he is using a lot of arrowroot or tapioca flour to or cornstarch to bread things rather than bread. And we do have. You can ask for, remember we discussed about grilled, baked, broiled, any of those choices. You know, once it is breaded, it's not good to be like steamed because you lose all the crunchiness from it. Oh yeah, definitely. If you have chicken like that is breaded, you can ask them, I want a plain chicken breast or plain chicken thigh with a lemon zest or orange zest in it. They will make it for you. We do personalize, believe it or not. We do personalize a lot of menu choices. And I have to say, I worked there for John Knox 28 years, and the choices that we have and the information that we have on the menus now is far more than we ever had, 10 or 15 years back. So we are evolving, just like, you guys are evolving. The food service is evolving to meet the needs of it. So if you have a specific concern, bring it to me or Raven. We will try to incorporate that into the menus and make it work. And there is always, we have people with the gluten-free, shell food allergy, ulcerative colitis that need special meals. There is some people who are allergic to nuts and seeds. We have those. So we can personalize a lot. But when you come to and sit in the dining room and order your meal, you are changing something, then there may be a 15 or 20 minutes delay. You are delaying everybody that is table mates for you.
I agree with Kathy in terms of gluten-free choices. And I found out many things about what is available only by emailing Raven. And I think that in general, less than 2% of us are gluten-free, but we don't know what is available. Okay. And I think you ought to produce something that says, we have breadcrumbs, we have gluten-free pancake mix, we have all this stuff that is available that we never know of because nobody ever tells us it is available.
I thought they are on the menu, the gluten-free. We have the gluten-free pasta, we have the gluten-free bread.
Who knows that?
There's a GF on some of the menus, that's what she's
gluten-free,
but
yeah.
I think you ought to let people know what is available as options. And it's not on the menu. The vegetarian people have their own menu. They see what's available. We're going by just okay, I'm going to have to ask, why can't we know that these are available?
My understanding was it is listed on the menus, but I'm looking at the menu that Raven just brought me to say. They have the vegetarian choices, they have the gluten-free with a little grain with a strike on it, like a stuffed cabbage or gluten-free, cashew chicken lettuce wrap, gluten-free, shrimp provençal, gluten-free, portobello mushroom gyro, vegetarian, vegetarian lasagna, not gluten-free. So it says on the menu at the bottom, gluten-free or vegetarian choices. But if you want something that is plain, like as nature brings it, like plain chicken breast, it does not have no gluten. Same with for you, like a plain, like black beans or vegetarian dishes, does not have to be gluten. But when you add, regular pasta or regular bread, that's where most of your gluten is come from. But you do have the choices. And if you want a modification in any of the menu items, you can tell the cooks and ahead of time. You can call dining room ahead of time or shoot an email. Anthony's there to take care of things. Dim is there to take care of things. Raven is there to, if you don't get a hold of one, try the other one. Yeah. I come last minute, to, fix problems and personalize menus for residents. Okay? I'm sorry I went over time. I know some of you may be bored, but I just got carried away. Nutrition is very important to me, so I just like to talk about it. So, okay, thank you. And feel free to take some information, and my cards are there. You can call me or email me, or leave a note for me there that I can always call back and fix an appointment with you. Thank you.